There are 5 codes available for research methodology. It's really 4 types of studies and one specific subset category referring to a type of sample that is used. These would be quantitative, qualitative, mixed methods, conceptual articles, and non-living samples or meta-analyses. Coding research methodologies will get easier with time as you internalize the definitions and fine-tune your ability to look for specific information in cues and articles. There are some good definitions of each methodology in the syllabus. These are also included in the Qualtrics survey to help you. It might be helpful to carefully read through those before watching the rest of this video. EBSCO has a methodology field for the articles that can be helpful. This will be a little bit towards the bottom. Right, here's the methodology field. The religious coping article, EBSCO says it's an empirical study and quantitative study. So this can be helpful, but do not only use this field to code your article. The methods and results sections are going to be the most important resource you have available for coding. An article's research methodology can also be visually assessed by scrolling through the articles with some form of relative accuracy. You'll most likely be able to determine the type of research from the results and method sections of the articles. Things to look for are statistics and data-based articles such as regression tables, block quotes citing participants' responses, any mentions of coefficients or standard deviations in the text, or the absence of a methods and results section altogether. Always remember to check your coding against these methods and results sections. I'll work through a few examples and then return to the religious coping article. So our first article is going to be family theory versus the theories families live by. So in the methodology section, there is none. Sometimes EBSCO will include one. So if we look at the contents, we can see that there's no methods or results sections listed. Just simply a conclusion, and then you have headings as it works through the article. Not even an introduction section. Let's read through block quotes citing some other research. Pretty much all text, and then we reach a conclusion. So it's most likely going to be a theoretical article. This can be confirmed by looking at the notes section. It says it's a paper presented at a workshop. So a lot of articles that are presented at conferences or workshops like this will just be theoretical articles. People are just presenting their opinions about research or something of that nature as they look through past research. This will be similar to a literature review where authors will look at past research surrounding a specific content or topic and try and make some generalized conclusions about what the research says, their opinions of it, how it could be applied. Case studies will also fit into this category. So if there's a study looking at just a very, very small group of people, like a single family or a single person, and trying to make a case for further research and insights into what the case study provides to the body of empirical research. Those are pretty easy to find as they're simple articles. Next article is Redressing Inequity in Parent Care Among Siblings. In the methodology section, EBSCO says it's an empirical study. That does not really help us for our coding purposes. Now if we come down to the article and look through, we can see there's block quotes. This is a participant response, quoting their words. So that leads us to believe this is a qualitative article. Now there are no mentions of statistics or tables, no correlation coefficients. So come back up to the method section. We can see that the study was part of a larger research project that says it was longitudinal and multi-method, but this specific paper is addressing part of that research project that used a focus group. So then we know that this is a qualitative article. We don't have anything to indicate that there are quantitative elements and that it could be mixed methods. So go ahead and quote that as qualitative. Next article is Search Engine Ranking, Quality and Content of Web Pages that are critical versus non-critical of human papillomavirus vaccine. So right here it says it's studying web pages. So this isn't available right here on this page. Go through the Get a BOU link and click through some other stuff. If you look at the methods section, here to summarize real quick. So the study is talking about HPV vaccine related web pages. And then there's looking at search engine rankings and doing some qualitative analysis of that. This will go into the specific subcategory of a non-living sample. We're not studying people or humans in any form in this article, so we'd code it as a non-living sample. Also in the number 5 category are meta-analyses. These will be studies that combine past research using the data of these articles to create a conglomerate or super study. So in the method section of this article, we're just going to go straight to, because the title says it's a meta-analysis. Method section says they use 3 computerized database studies and then looked at variables and findings developed from that. So these articles aren't presenting any new research that they have done, but rather producing findings out of multiple studies that have already been done. This will be a meta-analysis. A content analysis will just look at something like our study is doing, going through journal articles, coding the content, and then developing finding on that. Or you could code the content of web pages. You could do an analysis on how effective you think the information is or whether stuff is included. It's an example of a content analysis, which should be included with this category. Now if we come back to our religious coping article, here in the methodology field it says an empirical quantitative study. Do a quick scroll through the article. Do you see some statistics mentioned for the sample, which indicates probably quantitative. Here's a table of some descriptive statistics. There's a table trying to explain the relationship between variables, most likely a quantitative and not mixed methods. So if we look through at the method section, mentions they use a survey, it was online, and then here are the measures that they used within the survey. So you don't see any mention of open-ended questions or themes that were developed. So this will just be a quantitative article. Now, a mixed methods study will use both quantitative and qualitative elements in its research. You have to be careful to look for qualitative elements in a study. They won't always be recognizable by obvious block quotes. Sometimes the authors will describe the results of themes that were developed by looking at responses through a focus group of things that were said, looking through text analysis of an online discussion group or open-ended questions in a survey and so forth. So it's important to look for elements of that in the results section, even if they aren't visually obvious.